That's right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome down to the season finale of season 3. Let's get real, let's make some noise! Woo! Wow. Before we begin, let's play this very familiar intro, shall we? That's right, you all know this song. Had it for 3 years. If y'all still don't know the song, then play it again. No, But yes, guys, welcome to the season finale. This is our last episode for season 3. It's also our Christmas event.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to those watching. All those who are watching online who are not here. Boo. I mean, not boo.
No.
Yeah, we still welcome you. We love you guys, whether you're in front of the camera or behind the camera. Yes. But we want to acknowledge the people behind the camera, first of all. Yes. So if you don't mind, in case we didn't get just now, can you rah-rah one more time? Guys, make some noise! Season 3 finale! We're very. Are you? Okay, you're not muted. Okay,
not muted.
As we said, this very special episode of podcast recording is indeed lain daripada yang lain. Is 不一样，就真的不一样，真的不一样啊。Because we are going to do things a little bit differently.
Yes.
The guest is going to be seated here later on.
Not me.
It's not going to be Graham.
Yes.
He's going to come back. You're going to come back later, right?
Later, yes.
Yeah, but it's going to be some of you is going to be seated here, and we want to hear from you. We want to actually have just a simple conversation with you to hear what your thoughts are about Let's Get Real and why you actually listen to Let's Get Real, right?
Yes.
Why take 40 minutes or 45 minutes of your time to do this? So maybe we should start with Graham by asking Graham all these questions first, yeah?
Okay.
All right, Graham, you ready?
You didn't say it's me or just now?
I didn't.
Okay.
So this is a surprise.
It's a prank.
Surprise.
Okay,
so this is for all those who are coming up later. We'll call you up as well, but we ask Graham
questions.
first. Same question.
For you.
That's why this is the trial run.
Okay.
How did you find out about LGR?
So, someone asked me as well just now.
Oh, really?
Shout out to VJ. To those of you who don't know, hi, my name is Graham. I run the podcast together with the amazing team, Let's Get Real team. Shout out. So I think it was 2018. 17. Yes, 2017. I was having a nice supper after church at Mooney's. Any church people go Mooney's here? Shout out. We love Mooney's, yes. And then suddenly there's this number, 01 something, call me. He's like, hi, is this Graham? I got your number from Phoebe. I'm Brandon. And I'm like, sorry, who are you? I got your number from Phoebe, your manager last time. Yeah, so I used to work with Phoebe. And then I got a call from Brandon because he was looking for a video editor during that time. And then because of that conversation, I remember telling Lavinia as well, wow, this guy called me out. Don't know who. Then, so I did some research, suss out who he is. Okay, not bad, this guy. So I decided to work for Brandon for a bit. And during that 1 year, I think we shared a lot of ideas. We shared a lot of things that we want to do together as well. And it was that faithful Produk Asia. Shout out to Produk Asia. where Brandon used to send me back home. And then this one time he just shared with me, hey, God impressed in my heart to do this thing, to start a podcast. I won't tell you what the name is yet. Last time got a lot of names on, and I got this, got that.
Should we share one of the draft names?
One is like Lighthouse.
One is called Lighthouse. And then the other one is Walk the Talk.
And then there's Let's Get Real.
Yeah, here's the first, when I actually mentioned Let's Get Real.
You mentioned Let's Get Real first.
I'm like, and then you're 什么鬼哦? Like, walao, this guy trash on my ideas so fast.
Let's Get Real. And it's like, oh, you don't like actually, I did got designer to animation. So that's how it all started. Then with that, we kick-started the first season at Jin's office.
Correct.
We did it at Jin's
Mamak
office.
Sessions Studio.
So that's what you guys been seeing. So also praise God for Jin, who just said, use the studio for free. And I think that's a testament as well that, if we listen or follow what God has impressed in our heart to do, He will really open up doors that we never imagined. Right. I still remember the conversation that you told me you had with Jin. It's like, okay, I want to do this podcast, but how do I tell my boss that I want to do a Christian podcast?
It wasn't easy. Yeah, you're right. Because when I first approached Jin, now Jin is he's a super nice guy. And he's also a businessman, right? So when I first approached him, I actually sat down with him. I still remember at the pantry, and I was going through the script with my wife Phoebe because I wanted to tell him like, hey, because he's a businessman, so I was thinking of how do I entice him to so-called let us use the studio for absolutely no cost at all. And because we had nothing, we had literally had zero, right? And our seed fund was I think our own money.
I remember one question that we had was, which brand would want to buy or sponsor a Christian podcast?
Exactly.
Like, who would want?
Like,
Nobody.
I don't think like Samsung or like Panasonic would say, here's 10,000 ringgit to talk about Jesus, right? So that's the thing I had with Jin. And when I told Jin, I said, I want to have this, it's a passion project, it's going to be talking about, he asked, what's it about? I said, it's talking about Jesus. It was silence for a while. And then he just magically said, you know what, go for it. And I remember at that point, I told him like, hey, just so you know, if there's in a very unlikely event that this podcast somehow somebody sponsors it, like some company or brand sponsors it, we'll share the revenue 50-50. He said, no, I don't want anything. It's free. You can take every revenue you want. And then I told him, I said, okay, what about this? I rent it from you because I didn't want to just take his grace for granted. So I said, at least I pay you an honorarium for every design. And he refused to accept anything at all. He said, just use it. The lights are yours. The roadcaster is yours. Whenever you want, just come and use it. You can use it for absolutely no cost at all. So you see how Lord opened this is really how God opens the door. And I agree what Graham said. As long as we are obedient. I mean, the crux of the matter, just trust and obey. It's a Sunday school song, right? How many of you know trust and obey? For there's no other way to be happy in Jesus is to
Yesus pokok dan that one.
Okay, you know that song.
I don't know.
No?
Sorry.
Maybe I sing it in a different key. Because Diane was looking at me like, yo.
Yesus pokok, I know.
Okay. But the calling is just to trust and obey him, right? And then he just opens up all the doors for you and he makes your paths straight.
Yep.
And that's the lesson that we learned when we first started this ministry, Let's Get Real.
Yep.
And it's grown to what it is today.
Yep.
So that's the first question. You want to continue or finish already?
No, so long story short, after that we started and then here we are, season 3. Woo woo!
So fast, 3 years has just passed by like that, right? All right, second question for the sake, this one is going to be so hard for you because you've literally done every single one, right?
Yes.
Favorite episode?
And why?
And why? Favorite, Maybe for you top 2 because it's very hard to just zero in on one.
Okay, I think for me, number 1 that is definitely Henayo.
Right, of course.
YB Henayo, sorry, YB.
Yeah.
YB
In case
Henayo.
she's watching.
Shout out YB.
Yeah. Menteri Belia dan Sukan sekarang.
Terima kasih YB.
Yeah.
Banyak-banyak. Yeah, so that definitely is one.
Yeah.
Not just because of what YB shared on the podcast, but also the whole, I'm sure some of you know, the whole like how we managed to save the podcast because it was so close to not being posted because of...
Share. This one everybody must know. This fella.
No, some of us from the team. You cannot
some
say
of us, there are only 3 of us that time, bro. If it's not me, it's you and
Darren.
only 3 of us.
Shout out to Darren.
It's you.
No, it's not me. I remember, okay, I have a reason. Okay, so I also serve in video team in my church. Yeah. So that time we used my camera to take picture. And then I needed to shoot something for church promo. So I format the card. Yes.
Because of him, right, we almost had no Henayo episodes. So
Yes.
every single, if you realize, after we shoot an episode right in the studio over there, we would actually take like BTS boomerangs,
photo.
thumbnail photos. And Henayo is probably one of our biggest guests that season, right? Our opening first season.
And it's finale.
Finale some more.
Yes.
So can you imagine the scenario? This is the finale, This is the finale, Right now we're shooting finale, right?
Yes.
After this, no footage.
No footage. Thank God we got back up.
Thank God we got back up. But if you see the thumbnail,
no photo. Thumbnail.
Yeah.
So we had to be creative and screenshot and edit Henayo.
Correct. We
YB
Googled something.
Google
right?
her and like yes.
I love you, bro. I still love you a lot.
So that's the episode. That's the episode.
So that was a lot. Brings back so many memories at the time. He calls me as like, Brandon.
I was in church. I remember. I love Jesus. I go church. I'm like, how to call Brandon? I don't know how.
Oh
I remember.
My gosh.
Yes.
Funny. Okay. What touched your heart? Third question. Final question.
What touched my heart? If talking about stories, I think one key highlight would be shucks. 那个 Crazy Rich Asian 那个 Auntie.
Oh, Auntie Eunice.
Auntie Eunice, yes. Auntie Eunice, yes. I remember that story stood out to me a lot as well because that was the first episode that we recorded.
Yep.
Like the first one, like, because, you friends with her as well, come to the studio, then we sit down and we were like, how to stop her?
Yeah.
Because she just kept going on and on and on.
That one lasted one and a half hours.
One and a half hours. Then
my goodness,
that's the only episode that we cut.
Correct.
Other than that, everything is like raw. Because it's too long. Even the parts we cut, we're like, actually, this one very nice. How to cut? Don't know.
We asked for permission.
We asked for permission, yeah. But that was the story, like how God molded her to become who she was in Japan.
Yeah.
That really like hit me like a truck. No, they like a gentle kiss.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Like the Holy Spirit blow in a gentle but mighty way.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Shout out to Auntie Eunice.
Yeah. All right, cool. So, anything else you want to say before that?
Next guest.
All right, guys, we're going to go on to our guest. He's going to be back. Graham's going to be back with us. So let's give a big shout out and a big clap to Graham. Thank you, bro. Thank you. I think we're going to call out the guest, right? So we're going to call out our first guest as well. Hey, text me, bro. Yes, you text me. Okay, so the first guest tonight that we want to invite, I think she's been a really ardent supporter since, not just of Let's Get Real, but of my career. Very supportive since I was a young host on a show called the ATV Quickie. I'm 29 years old this year, but when I started in the entertainment industry, I was 20 years old. Next year is going to be a decade in this industry, and time just flew past just like that. But she's been following since then, and she's been ever so supportive, and it's a pleasure and a privilege to welcome here to join me on this seat to ask us some questions and have a conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Miss Tabitha Long. Come on up here. Come, Tabitha, please. 请坐. Hello, Tabitha.
Hi, Brandon.
How are you doing?
Good. Very nervous.
Very nervous?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't like being in front of camera.
Oh, yeah. You once upon a time, you were actually working behind the camera, right?
I still work behind the
You
camera.
still work behind the camera, right? Yeah, so it is one of the rare occasions where Tabitha is actually in front of the camera. Now, like I said, you've been ever so supportive since we were quite young. I don't think the first time we met.
2009.
Wow.
Burger Lab. OUG.
Wow. 2009 Burger Lab OUG. And I remember the time because I remember what I was wearing. So I was wearing some Minion t-shirt, something like that, right?
Yes.
Fashion, thank God I met Phoebe. Anyway.
You were with Phoebe that time.
Oh, was I?
Yeah.
Oh. Tabitha. Thank you so much for coming. Very dangerous. Very risky. Okay, anyway, we're just going to get straight down to business, all right? Thank you so much for supporting us all this while. And I know you've also prayed for us a lot. And whenever we meet up, you have nothing but very, very encouraging words for me. So I want to ask you, first of all, how did you find out about Let's Get Real, about this podcast?
I think it's also a year before it was released, 2018. I think I met you somewhere. Yeah. And then you told me also, you're like, I have this idea. It's a Christian podcast, but I don't know how your viewers will take it. Will there even be supporters listening and everything? So when you told me that, I think I immediately I was like, just go for it.
Yes, I remember.
At least there's one person who will be listening for sure, which is me. And ever since then, I've just been following. Wow. I mean, since 2009 until now. So
thank you so much, Tabitha. I really appreciate it. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really do. And of course, come down to it. I've got to ask you, right? Same with Graham. What's your favorite episode out of so many that we've shot, and why?
For me, it's the one with Cherise, in Complete Surrender.
Yeah.
I think because the stories that she shared, how vulnerable she is. Not many know, but I'm a pastor's kid. Both my parents are pastors, so. Like I was telling someone just now, at the end of the day, I'm still human. So going through struggles, going through disappointments, there are moments where, I'm just like, God, are you even real? Where I start questioning, not to say my faith, but I'm like, God, are you even there? Do you even care? And, Sherry said, if he can still praise, I can too. And that is still, whenever I go through something, I'm like, if other people going through worse, they can still praise, why can't I? I have breath in my lungs. I have the voice to do it. So for me, that is just one of the most encouraging episodes where I keep on listening every now and then just to refuel myself and be like, I'm going to be in complete surrender.
Wow, come on. How good is that? Not easy. Yeah. And I know the struggles of being a pastor's kid. Believe me, not because I'm one, but I'm married to one. So shout out to all the PKs out there. Shout out, not easy, I know. Yeah, being married to one, so not easy. Shout out to all the people married to PKs, all right, I gotta ask you as well, right? So what touched your heart most about Let's Get Real, about the podcast? Is there any instances or anything that
for me, I think like what I said, it's just stories from different individuals. Even though no matter how well-known they are, YB Hannah, Cherise, everything, at the end of the day, they have stories relating to us. Whatever they go through, I go through as well. And God doesn't leave out anyone. He still touches every individual. No matter your journey, no matter what you're going through. So for me, that is the biggest encouragement, and just following Let's Get Real. I actually know Joel. Like I met Joel like through Let's Get Real. So
Mr. Worldwide.
Yes. So immediately I texted him, and then he said Grim told him 7:30.
Wait, she said she was very uncomfortable in front of camera. So what she did there? She was 7:30. I thought you were very uncomfortable.
A bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So making friends and just being here.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Tabitha. I really appreciate you. Guys, can we
me.
give her a big round of applause? Thank you so much, Tabitha. Thanks a lot for coming on. Really appreciate you. All right, that's just, I think this is 1 out of 3. The next person we want to invite, we want to invite the cleaner. You already know who it is. Give it up for Mr. Chester Wong. What up, bruh? Yeah. Have a seat, brother. How you doing today, Chester?
Very good. I just recovered from food poisoning.
Yeah, share with us the time. You were sharing me just a little bit back there, right? You almost didn't make it to tonight.
Yes.
What happened?
Okay, so I had a stylitis, like a swollen eyelid. So inside contain pus when you pop it. So I had to get it popped out. Few days later, while it was in the process of healing, I had food poisoning. I woke up at like 4:35 a.m. just to vomit food.
You sure you're not pregnant, huh?
No. Yeah, I was on medication. And I was supposed to serve in church today also. There was like Christmas parties going on, and I almost couldn't make it for any of it.
Wow.
But thank God for His healing. You know, in Jesus' name, I'm healed.
Amen. Amen. And here you are.
Yeah.
Woo! Okay, let's get to the questions. I'm very interested to know, right? So how did you first hear about Let's Get Real? I mean, you are one of the most active people in our Discord community server, and we want to say thank you so much for that as well. Besides, of course, making sure that there are no scammers or no spammers. We hope you enjoy your gift card, by the way. Yeah. But how did you first hear about this ministry?
I think I was following your Facebook page.
Right.
So I was very into YouTubers, the Ming Ting, Genie Boy, and the list goes on.
Yeah.
So I think it was like from one of your videos, Cash, and then I started following. Then I saw, I can't remember whether it was the first episode itself, the one featured Marianne Tan.
Yes.
Yeah. So
yes.
I think it started from there onwards that I kept following consistently until today.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, let's give a big hand to Chester, man. I really appreciate it, bro. Really. And I'm so glad you could even make it tonight as well. Yeah. And also to ask you, is there a favorite episode of yours out of the 3 seasons? Do you have one specific one maybe that you really spoke to you, for example?
I think the one I'm amazed the most was the latest. You want to say amazed, every episode is amazing. I think just like what Tabitha said, every episode there is a story, whether it's Listen Up, Let's Get Real, Uncover. It's like the more stories they tell, the more you're amazed by the work of God in people's life. And whether it might not be related to you, it might relate to you from maybe in the future. Who knows? Yeah.
Wow. So every episode, basically.
Yeah.
The most politically correct answer, ladies and gentlemen. Every episode is amazing. Good.
Yes.
And of course, is there anything about the ministry or being just a part of LGR's community that has touched your heart, or the ministry, has it ever touched your heart at all?
I think the Discord itself is a great platform to unite whether Christians or not, because we have interacted with non-Christians, we have interacted with Christians. Sometimes they just disappear from after a long while, but through the Discord platform, we were able to form friendships. We were able to even not as an official Let's Get Real outing, but we were able to come together, get to know each other, come out maybe a few times a year. Just to really bond and fellowship.
Wow. Anyone from Klang here tonight? From Klang? Klang Gang, can you make some noise? Klang Gang, where are you guys at? Wow, Klang really showed up, I tell you. Klang really showed up. Anyone from Petaling Jaya? Okay, never mind, don't shut up. Don't say anything. Nobody from it's okay. Yeah, but I know you're one of the very active people there as well. So Chester, I want to say thank you so much. We really appreciate you being in the server as well. Really appreciate your support. So guys, let's give a big hand to Chester. Thank you so much, Chester. Thank you for being here. Now, it's true. I wish I need to go for one of these outings, right? I need to drop by Klang, I feel. I really, really want to drop by Klang, yeah. Fun fact, I used to attend a church called GT Klang. But this is way back when I was 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. And so I have many, many good friends from GT Klang, Jalan Meru. And so I'm looking forward to visit Klang very soon for Bak Kut Teh or something. So I don't know what's the update latest, what's the best Bak Kut Teh now. But if you guys are, let's hit me up and let's go Bak Kut Teh together. Pui! Did he just say Subang Bak Kut Teh? 1, 2, 3, boo somebody. No, Klang. Wait, got the dry version or not? Oh, serious? I just only got dry version, Serious? The clip out one or the dry one or? Oh. Yeah, you saw it, bro. You don't mess with the Klang people tonight, bro. Yeah, they're out in numbers, bro. Don't mess with them. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got one more guest we want to invite here today. You already know him. He's already accepted the award. He's really been praying so hard. He's been thirsting for the Lord. He's been thirsting for water because he's prayed so much. And it's also a very personal encouragement to me. And he also runs his own podcast, actually. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to stage Mr. Kelvin Chia. Come on up here, Kelvin. Kelvin, welcome. Please have a seat, Kelvin.
Thank you for giving me so much notice about this.
Yes, about 1 hour? 15 minutes.
Right.
The rest also receive about 15 minutes. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, but because you are on a podcast yourself, you yourself run a podcast, so this should be easier for you.
I
right?
have never really done it with someone else. It's always me in my bedroom. And so this is very, very strange, very, very special. But
okay, before we start, how about you share about your own podcast? I really want people to hear his podcast.
No. It is not a this is a podcast. It's not a podcast.
But what is it called, at least?
I read the Bible every day.
Yes.
And so it's a daily Bible reading show.
Keyword. Every day. All right? Every day. Every day, yeah?
Are you going to make me feel really bad because I've stopped doing it I've stopped releasing it every day.
Don't say that, I already hyped you up so much, Every day, sorry, okay, you're very honest. Prayer warrior, I have to be honest.
Okay,
I cannot lie.
Well, it started out that way because it was during lockdown and you had nothing else to do. So what I did was I did it live. So I read through. The plan was to read through the entire Bible in a year.
That's right.
So you have to cover something like 4 chapters in a day, and that took me. Well, it was crazy. I almost gave up, but I managed for about 9 months or so.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I want to say, Kelvin, thank you so much for being here. And Kelvin,
don't look. It will put you to sleep. I mean, it's a very old podcast. It really isn't.
Okay, I'm gonna mute you right here because I think you're not giving yourself enough credit. To do something consistently every single day is not easy. Okay. It's really not easy. I mean, let's admit it. Some of us don't read the Bible every day.
There's quantity. There's very, very little.
Okay, muted. No, Kelvin, you've been a personal encourager to me. And whenever I look at you, you know what I'm reminded of or not? Barnabas. Because you're an encourager. Honestly, you're like the son of encouragement. Because you would text me personally and you say, is there anything I can pray for you? And when you text me, it happens to be some of the times where I need prayer the most. And I shared with you about my grandfather as well, the things that he was going through. And it's ngam is when you texted me and said, yes, I will pray for you. And you have no idea how much that means to someone like me. And more often than not, sometimes it's hard, it's hard doing this, being in this business, doing this industry, running a ministry like this. And for someone like you to ask me something like that, I think it's very brave. And I also think it's very, very much... it's very loving, I would say. It brings a warmth to my heart.
That's very gracious of you to say.
Yeah, but thank you so much really for doing that from the bottom of my heart. I also want to say thank you to you. Yeah. Kelvin, may I ask you the same questions as our previous one? Yeah. So let's start with LGR first of all. How did you find out about Let's Get Real?
So I've never listened to a single episode in Malaysia. So the thing is, I discovered it. So I lived up to a week ago, I lived in the UK, and so I listened to it over lockdown. So that's how I discovered it.
Nice. And out of all the episodes that you watched, is there a favorite episode of yours?
Okay,
specific one?
Now, the one I want to say is actually Miss Moyes.
Miss Moy Yoklai, yeah.
I was in Methodist Boys School, and she was the headmistress of the afternoon session. I say this very, very lovingly. She was kind of scary because she was so strict, and we never talked to her. But when I heard that she was a Christian, and you interviewed her, and she was so candid about how she became a Christian.
Yeah.
And I want to say that that's my favorite episode, because actually the one that I remember the most, though, was actually the one that I think Graham did with you, and I was really touched. I mean, you talked about your life. I mean, I didn't know anything about you. I just knew that there was a podcast, but you had such a story, and that was very encouraging to me as well.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, but Miss Moy Yoklai, fantastic guest as well.
She's incredible.
Incredible.
Wow.
And she's still so sharp, She's obviously well into years, but she's so sharp. And fun fact, she's also my mom's teacher.
Your mom came for the interview?
She did. She came for the interview. She wanted to come because she was such a fangirl. My mom said, I have to come. And, we took pictures with my mom and Miss Moy as well.
Wow.
So she's taught not a generation, she's taught generations of people. And I'm glad to know that you've been under her as well before. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, so I became a Christian overseas, and so that was kind of like the whole let's get real thing. This was something very new for me to see just what it was like to be a Christian in Malaysia. And you were interviewing Christians, and here was someone that I knew in the past, and I'm ashamed to say I didn't know she was a Christian. I know that she's a really big deal here, but again, I didn't know that, and that story was just so. It really shifted my perspective about what it means to be a Christian, especially how difficult it is, but also how real God is amidst that difficulty.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot, Kelvin. One more question before I let you go. Is there anything that's touched your heart, being in this journey?
Well, again, it's just opened up my eyes to see what it means to be a Christian here in Malaysia. I've only ever been to church in the UK. I've never really even heard like a pastor preach a sermon in a Malaysian accent. But actually, this is even more. Actually, just you interviewing real Christians, real lives, and it's helped me actually understand what it means. And that's why I've moved back as well. For other reasons, for my family and stuff. But it's made it easier for me to just adjust to life here as a Christian.
Praise the Lord. Thank you so much, Kelvin. Let's give it one more time for Mr. Kelvin Chia. Thank you so much, Kelvin. Thanks a lot for coming as well. Thanks a lot to all of you for coming. We're going to move on to our next section right now. And before you came in as well, we asked you to drop some Q&A into the fishbowl. And yes, so I want to invite Graham back on set. Come on, Graham. Come on back in here. Clap, 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 clap. Come. Graham has been our producer for 3 years now.
Yes.
3 years. Wow.
Long years.
3 long years.
Yes.
Man. And the reason why I have Graham up here is because, some of the questions I can answer. But not all the questions I can answer, because a lot of things, there's a lot of technical things that I also do not know on. To be honest with you, I only know how to work this thing. I don't know what's behind here, and these kind of things is all the entire team who does it. So I just come here, I do my thing, but yes, without them, there is absolutely no show whatsoever. So we're going to go through some of these questions, and a technical one, I let you answer.
I think I can ask you first, first question.
Oh, it's for me?
Yes, first question is for you.
Okay.
Thank you. Shout out to Lavina.
Thank you. Shout out, guys. Thanks a lot for asking these questions.
Filtering, and also you guys for asking.
Yes. Thank you. Okay.
All right, first question is for you.
Okay.
What's the vision and direction for 2023 and beyond? Wow. Who asked?
Oh.
VJ asked one. Okay, maybe this year first we recap. This year we had Uncover.
Correct. So I'll share with you the vision for this year. Not a lot of people know. We didn't actually share it online as well, right? But this year when we did our vision casting, we went for a retreat. So, we have to do Yeah, that's our retreat. So you see, we went for a retreat. So every year we do a retreat after the end of the season. This is just to regroup and to seek the Lord for new vision for the next year. So we haven't done one for the end of season 3 because season 3 hasn't ended yet. But I remember at the end of season 2, we all came together, we all prayed together, and the vision was very clear. And the vision was, this is what I saw, that I don't know if you remember this, but I was sharing with you guys. We were out in a sampan, and we're going out into the open sea. And in that open sea, we cast the net. And that was the vision for us for 2022 this year. And I'm so glad that we did Uncover and shows like Uncover basically, because music is a very, very important part of so many people's lives. And music can really touch and reach a lot of people. And that's the reason why it's in line with the vision. And the vision for me, it really meant that although we are small, the Sampan represented us. We're not big in any way. None of us are doing this full time. A lot of us use our own time, money, energy, resources to be part of this ministry. It's not easy. What we do is really not easy, but there's so much sacrifice as well. And we only got a small sampan, but I saw us going out into the open ocean. And if you know anything about being out in the open ocean, there are really big, strong waves. There's thunderstorms happening. And the sampan didn't move. And we cast the net. And the reason why I said when I saw us casting the net was because I wanted to expand our horizons. In season 1 and season 2, basically what happened was I personally found out that we were reaching a lot of Christians. And when I say what that means is that within the church community, within the Christian community, a lot of people did know who Let's Get Real is. They knew what Let's Get Real was about. But when we cast the net into the open ocean, I wanted to go beyond Christians, to be honest with you. I wanted to reach out to non-Christians to get them to know and to share the gospel with the non-Christians and reach out to the unchurched. These were the people that I want to reach. And that's why we were casting the net into the open ocean. So we're going away from the safety of the Christian shore, so to speak, out into the open ocean. And I think now talking about this right now, I want to bring forward this vision over to 2023 because really people need to hear the gospel. Guys, it's very important. We all have a role and a responsibility as Christians. It's so important. Personally as well, you know, I believe we're living in the end times. Time is running out, guys. So that's why I want to encourage each and every one of you. You all have friends and you all have an influence and a voice. Your voice matters. Do something with your voice. Do something with the platform and the influence that the Lord has given you. One day we're all going to be answerable. I always share this in every conference or every CIMB I go to. One day we are going to be answerable. Just because I have slightly more followers and anything like that, you guys are still going to get the same questions. I always tell people that when I go to heaven, when I face the judgment throne of God, God is going to ask me, Brandon, what did you do? What did you do with the amount of people that I've blessed you with? And I pray that I got a fantastic answer to answer my King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. And it's the same question is going to be posed to each and every one of you as well. And that's why I think when I think about this question, what is the vision for 2023? Is really to reach out to non-Christians. It's not just you guys that are talking about, not just Christians talking about Let's Get Real. I want non-Christians to be, hey, did you hear this podcast of Let's Get Real? It's this Christian thingy. And I want this, thanks. And I want this to happen very, very often because I want to reach the non-Christians, to be honest with you. That's the vision for 2022.
And I think just to add on to that as well, I think a lot of you have also been sending us DMs or even on the Discord telling us, hey, invite this person, invite that person. Yeah. And those are great. But I think one thing that I think is in line with what you just shared as well is that because we have this vision or this thing that we want to achieve as well to cast the net out, and that also dictates, who we bring on the show, how we shape the whole season as well. And I think this for this year, it was pretty clear that we also wanted to highlight the songs that birthed out from Malaysia as well. And keep sending your suggestions. But I think with that in mind, moving on to 2023, really excited to see. One thing I would like to just put it out there. It's very scary to work with Brandon because season 1, 1 show. Season 2, 2 shows. Season 3, 3 shows. Season 4. Season 1 was just Let's Get Real, where we share people's testimony and things like that. Season 2 was lockdown, so we couldn't record. So we introduced a new show called Listen Up.
That's right.
Where we talk about topics. Where we invite Christians on to talk about where Christians stand when it comes to certain topics.
That's right.
Season 3, music. Season 4, I don't know.
We're going to shoot a movie.
So very scary. Very scary. Okay, speaking of that, this is a very, very in-line question.
Okay.
Will Let's Get Real go on a global tour? Who write one? Pastor? Who?
Global tour?
It's our own team. I scared.
Wow. I think she's talking about the retreat lah.
The retreat, yes.
She wants to go overseas for retreat.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. Japan, let me check our bank account.
How to answer?
But by faith lah, by faith. Someone asked in the Discord about Sabah, Sarawak, East Malaysia. Right? I think someone asked about East Malaysia.
We actually have plans for that. Pastor Philip.
Yeah. Pastor Philip Lin is one of our very, very good partners. It's okay,
And, shout out to Pastor.
Yeah. And in fact, Pastor Philip, SIB Skyline was one of the few churches that actually contributed to our seed fund when we first started season 1. So we got very good ties with them. And so hopefully we get to go to East Malaysia. We really want to go there. And we want to experience, we want to experience the church culture there. We want to experience maybe even doing a show there, like a live recording as well. So East Malaysia. So global tour.
Overseas tour.
Singapore.
No, like Sabah ini is
consider global, right? Okay lah, Sabah, Sarawak, we're coming for you after this.
Overseas.
Penang also can lah.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't know. To answer your question, I guess we don't know yet. But right now, I gotta be honest with you, we have no concrete plans to so-called bring the show overseas or globally or go globally to shoot.
Yep.
I think there's a lot of need in Malaysia right now, and there's so many people and pockets of people that we have not reached, and there is huge potential. I mean, it's so big. The harvest is plentiful, right? Yeah, so we want to concentrate on being in Malaysia to serve the Malaysian people.
Harvest plenty, laborers.
A few.
Which is why the next question is the team expand? Oh, good or not?
Yeah, I saw the segue, bro. Well done, not bad.
Is the team expanding?
That one usually I reserve for Graham to answer because Graham is the one who gives me feedback. All right, so as I try to keep abreast with everything that's happening within the team, but usually I get my feedback from just one person, which is Graham, and then Graham feeds back everything, and I say, okay, if you need more hands, then let's put it out there, and that's pretty much how we've expanded our team. We just put a call out there, people respond, and then we talk to them, and we just bring them into the fold. So this, I think, question is a little bit more suited for you.
Okay, I think immediate plans. No, but I think we're also very grateful as a team that whenever there's a need, we know people or like people, friends or friends of the team. Like even for today, Sam is here as well, taking photos, volunteering. Shout out to Sam, thank you so much. Yes. And even for setup on Thursday, we have friends just coming on board who are just so willing and know of the show or like just want to support and help. I think Kelvin is here as well. Shout out Kelvin.
Yeah,
thank you for the support. Yeah. So I think in terms of being part of the team, usually how we go about it is if there's a need, let's say we needed showrunners because we had 3 shows. Thank you, Brandon. So that's how we expand. Before that was we had 2 shows, so we expanded with designers because season 1 my design cannot use. So season 2 suddenly like glow up. Shout out to Aaron and Huyan for the design. Yeah, so I think as of now we'll see after the retreat if the plans for 2023. But as of now, now is December 25th.
Yep.
Focus.
Yeah, it's 25th December today.
Yes, not yet. Thank you so much. Oh, we have more questions sent to us by Lavinia. What made you decide to live a life of faith? Check out episode 13 of Let's Get Real. I interviewed Brandon. You want to explain a bit?
Yeah, I mean, you can check out episode 13. You're right. When you interviewed me, right? Pretty much. That's pretty much my life story. So I think what caused, I think both of us, right? What caused, what was it?
What made you decide to live a life of faith?
What made me decide to live a life of faith? I think because God is so real in my life. This is true. The undeniable fact is He's so real in my life that it's hard not to live a life of faith. You know what I mean? Because all of you have experienced Christ in one way or another, who have an encounter with Jesus. You will know this. Once you experience God's love, it's really hard not to live a life for Him, not to live a life of faith. And that's my story as well, because I can tell you 1,001 stories of so many testimonies that happen in my family, in my life, where I can tell you that God is so real. You'll probably take like a 3-day, 2-night youth camp, so we don't have enough time for that.
Yes.
But it's true, and so it's actually harder to not live a life of faith. But if you ask me, that's the short answer. The long answer is episode 13. But the short answer is truly, when I think about God, when I think about Him and what He has done in my life, I cannot help but want to live a life of faith for Jesus. Yeah.
Nice. All right. We have one more question. Do you have a Bible verse that speaks to you the most?
Matthew 6:33. This has been my favorite verse since I was a young kid.
Joshua 1:9.
Yes, Joshua 1:9 is
you cannot say.
What is Joshua 1:9? You got to know your favorite.
Say. No, I mean, I know Joshua 1:9, but we cannot explain even more. Do you know why? Because
I know. Yeah, I get it.
All the team laugh.
Yeah.
Cannot later they all try.
Yeah, okay. But
maybe we give some context. Why we laugh?
We cannot give context. If we give context, it's so dangerous.
So I'm the one in charge of setting up
all the accounts.
Yeah, so don't try, but some of it is,
Thanks, man. That was it already. Yeah, you give it out.
No, they don't know the email, so they cannot. Yes, anyways.
We changed to Matthew 6:33.
We need to change the password.
Hey, don't try.
Don't try.
Not trying. Okay.
I'm not saying anything.
Yeah, but what is Joshua 1:9? You got to share this one first of all.
Oh shucks. Be
strong.
Be strong and courageous. Yes.
Is that verse, right? And why is this verse so...
I think when that time we were also having a discussion about this, and you were asking me like, why is this your favorite verse? And I think that time it was end of season 1, and I remember I was going through some waves, storms in my life, and a pastor in my church actually spoke at our youth, and it really stood out to me. Prior to this, very basic one, my favorite verse, for God so loved the world, like, but after that incident, when I was going through that, I think it really spoke to me because I was really afraid of change during the time, and so there are some things. I think I shared, Lavinia, if you would allow me to share. So during the time, I think it was my relationship with Lavinia. It was a bit rocky. I think we were like fighting a lot and things like that as well. And it was during that time where God really challenged me to really look inwards and not look outwards. I used to be a very angry person. And during that time, God really challenged me, even leaders in church challenged me as well, to just look in. I'm not someone who reflects. I'm not someone who think of what I've done and how to improve and things like that. And I think it was during that part where God challenged me to look into details of myself, how I carry myself, how I speak, how I just lead. And that was really scary for me because it needed me to be vulnerable. It needed me to be weak. It needed me to accept other people's opinion, which sometimes are not in line with what I believe in or how I feel something should be done. And during that part, that verse really stood out to me, and I really cried in church when Pastor shared that verse and prophesied it over me to say, just be strong. No matter what happened, even though, sorry, I never shared this before, but no matter what happened, he is still true. He is still real, and just encouraged me to be strong and face myself. Surprisingly, like the parts, the ugly parts of myself that I don't like, to really acknowledge it and let God come in and
That's amazing. Let's give it a round of applause. Come on, it's not easy to share. It's really not easy. Yeah, thanks a lot for sharing, Graham. Yeah, and shake it off, bro. Shake it off.
Yes, come on.
Yeah. So mine is Matthew 6:33. This has been my favorite verse since I was a young teenager. Growing up, I really didn't have a lot, but what I know was to seek ye first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto me. And all my life, when I honor God, God has always also honored me, and that's been the motto of my life, and that has never changed, and that will also never change because our God is never changing. So that's something that I hold, a principle that I hold very close and dear to my heart, and it's something I know that God has never failed me, never once. So that's my favorite verse, and just to answer that question. So wow, I think we went through all the questions, right?
Yes, from the notes.
From the notes,
so
right?
Maybe we want to open it up.
Anyone got any questions? This is it already. This is the last link already.
Yes.
After this, no more questions? Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Everyone's family here. Everyone's a good friend here. Everyone's a good brother or sister here.
没有
1、2、3、4、5、6。
4。
Oh, so sorry. All right, we got a question from the back. Yes, we'll just take one. Come on.
Question to both of you.
Okay.
Any word of wisdom to facilitate the whole year of 2022?
Fantastic.
Oh.
To have a great 2023.
Very good question. Graham?
Yes? No.
Both of us, right?
For the sake of the viewers, so Clement asks any words of wisdom for to encapsulate 2022 and also moving forward to 2023. Yes, and then you say me.
Yeah. Then I say Graham.
I think definitely trust in the Lord. But I think that's like very vague, very Christian answer. But to look deep into that word would be really trust the community that God has placed you in. It's one thing to be called to do one thing, but it's another to really acknowledge that, hey, this is what God has given me. These are the tools that I have. What can I do to glorify God with these? Because I think a lot of times for myself, I always think that, I want to do this, I want to do that. But when I look down in front of me, I only have 8 people in our team. There's Brandon. I want to do a lot of things, like a lot of these tied by circumstances by that. But I think God ultimately wants us to use what He provided for us to do what we can, and the rest just leave it up to Him.
Amen. Yeah. I think that's a fantastic question to close the session as well,
Thank you.
To encapsulate 2022. I think this year has been really a year of learning for me as well. I've learned so many things, starting a new show like Uncover, something that we've never done before. And it's really how I see God moving in our ministry, that when we just, like I said again, back to my first point, we trust and obey, how God opened the door. So my encouragement to you is also this, to what Graham said as well, to use your 5 loaves and 2 fishes, right? And that's in front of you. And you see how God used that to multiply. Really, you'll be so amazed. But your calling is so simple, is to be faithful. He doesn't call you to reach for the moon, stars, the skies, everything. But your calling is to be faithful, to just trust and obey. And you see how the Lord moves, and you see how the Lord make your path straight. And this is the one that I've gotten for the whole 2022. How we just do this, do that. How we just follow, okay, Lord, you say go, then we go.
Even for Uncover, like we talk about the studio, how God blesses, have a space in studio. Even for Uncover, you wanted to do this.
Yeah.
Like we came together, we prayed, like how? And then God just bring people.
Yeah.
Sandesh, Pastor Andy, the Revel team.
Shout out to Revel, guys. Shout out to the Revel worship team.
Woo! So I think like even our show itself is really a testimony of how if you really listen and just follow what God asks you to do, we'll find a way. I still remember you told me the idea. I'm like, bro, our office, you go hear the clap, the reverb or not. So bad. How to record?
Yes,
and
you
like
did.
I remember our conversation. I'm always like very skeptical about like I want to do things, but when I strongly believe that when you obey God, He will bring people. He will open doors.
Amen.
Suddenly, remember the recording?
Oh,
like everyone was just jam-packed in there.
And I was so touched, by the way. You had no idea when we first did our recording. I looked at Graham and I looked at our producer for the show, Angela, and I just smiled because I couldn't believe it that we could pull something off like this. I really couldn't. And so I know all glory, honor, and praise must go back to Jesus.
Yep.
And that is that is really all for God's glory. Really. Yeah. So, you know what? As we look forward to 2023, yes, this is the calling to trust and obey. Yeah? Oh, we got to stop recording already.
The song, the ending.
Oh, sorry, I forgot. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
I forgot.
Yes, closing song. We want to say thank you so much, honestly, guys, for being here tonight. You sat through almost 15 minutes of us talking and chatting with you guys, and it's something that we truly appreciate. We want to say on behalf of the team, that we look forward to journeying with you beyond 2022 into 2023 and so many years beyond. Look out, of course, for what we have. We have so many things in store. I'm saying this by faith. We haven't even planned for 2023, but we've seen it in 2020, 2021, 2022. So I know I'm so confident saying this. Look out for what we're going to produce in the next year. Yep. Last words, Graham. By all means, please go for it.
Find good friends. Find good people with the same mindset. And if you have a goal or something that God has impressed in your heart to do, share with them. Let them be your accountability partner and really believe that God has really prepared you. I always believe that God would not challenge you to do something if He has not prepared you. So if God challenged you, that means you're ready.
So amen. Thank you so much, guys. A big shout out to each and every one of you for being here.
Shout out to you guys.
You guys are the reason that this is possible.
Yes.
And I'm so grateful, I'm so touched, and I'm so humbled by all your presence here. A big shout out to all the team. Crew, can you please stand up? All the LGR team. Yes. Raise your hands, guys. Raise your hands, stand up. Give a big hand to them as well. Thank you, guys. You guys are the real MVP legends in my eyes. And like I said again, look forward to next year. Yes. We'll see you guys again. A big and a blessed Christmas to all of you. We're going to do our shout outs as well. If you guys want to follow us, make sure you guys check out LGR, Let's Get Real MY on Instagram, on Facebook, and follow us there as well. Don't forget, we got a Discord community server. Discord people, make some noise. Woo! You can join us on Discord. Just look for us. The links are probably in the description box below.
Share your memes.
Share your memes. You'll get an award.
Dethrone Nick. We need another meme. Yes.
All right, so that's it. We'll see you guys again next year. This has been Let's Get Real with me, with Graham, with all our guests, with Discord, with all the community. We'll see you guys again. God bless you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to yet another episode of our podcast. We believe and trust that you'll be inspired, blessed, and encouraged by this episode.
And if you'd like to see more episodes like this, be sure to subscribe to our channel, like this video, and share it with your friends.
Also, we have a Discord community where you can join, have fun, and even seek for prayer. And of course, if you want to support this ministry, this studio, and keep us going, you can drop your love gifts at the bank details that you see on your screens right now.
Be sure to earmark Let's Get Real or LGR so that we know that your giving will be used for this show.
Thank you so much in advance. Until next time, God bless.